We're joined by my old eBay friend, Betsy Bolger, known in the e-commerce world as eBetsy. She's an online entrepreneur, content creator, eBay legend, eBay radio legend, but we're super stoked to have her on the show. Welcome, eBetsy, and thanks for joining us today.
Watch who you're calling old there, Doug. Thank you. I'm very glad to be here on your List Perfectly podcast. It's wonderful to see both you and Danna, my old friend Danna.
Aw.
My
Now
age,
who you calling old? What the heck?
my longtime friend Danna.
There you go.
Yes.
I'm just so happy that you agreed to be here today. I know you and we first finally got to meet in person in Boston in 2007. And when we finally met after being online friends, I was so proud to be by your side while I was a guest on the eBay radio show with Griffin Lee. So please share with our listeners some insight into exactly what eBay radio was like back then and how you were involved with that.
Oh my gosh. I was so glad, by the way, to have you by my side when you were a guest. You were one of our most awesome guests ever. And I'm always glad to have you by my side through all the eBay things we've done together. But eBay radio. eBay radio was the first, it was the longest running professionally produced internet radio show ever in the world. It basically took the terrestrial talk radio format and put it on the internet. And it was the brainchild of Lee Marable, who went on to become not the original plan, but she and Griff had such great chemistry, he just wanted her to stay on. And as far as the ambiance of the show, think eBay education meets morning zoo madness. we taught people to be better sellers, but we did so in a highly entertaining manner. Which the show was just a terrific amount of fun. We had a wonderful community. We had what we used to call it the super secret chat board because it was an orphan thread on the discussion boards. We had to send out the link in a newsletter before every show, but people would show up in the chat room. We all got to know each other. It was like kind of like the early days of eBay in a microcosm. And I discovered eBay Radio in 2004, it was a year old at the time, and it was my first year at eBay Live. And I was like, what is this thing called eBay Radio? And so I went home and I wouldn't say I exactly appeared on the radio, but such is the magic of radio that's what it feels like. I kind of quickly became a frequent caller. And one fateful day, I called in and I said, they said, what are you calling about today? I said, well, this is my Bon Voyage call. Oh, where are you going? I said, well, I'm going around the world on eBay. I'm going around the world on eBay. And they said, what? I said, yes, I've noticed that eBay is opening international sites now, and I'm going to go around the world on eBay and visit each one of them. And they said, stay on the line after we hang up a minute. We have an idea. So that is how I became a contributing editor. And my gig was called on the Around the World on eBay in 80 seconds with eBetsy, wherein I reported live for 80 seconds from a different international eBay site each week. And believe me, it was 80 seconds. Lee Marable was quick to cut me off if I went over. And yet they wanted me to talk slowly. This is not easy. But and again, the magic of radio. People were like, wow, what are you doing at eBay University on Saturday? Weren't you just in eBay Belgium on Tuesday? I'm like, it's a website. I was in the corner of my office, okay? But, and they were like, who's paying your plane fare? But it was super fun. At every site that I went to, in every country, I bought an item, I sold an item, hung out on like the social chat boards. So it was very social back then, in addition to the like subject matter things, that you would go to with questions or whatever. There was like the eBay Cafe on eBay.com. eBay Australia had the Chinwag, and I chatted a while at the Chinwag. I joined the 50 feedback, or what the Blue Star Feedback Club for people that had feedbacks. I just kind of got to know what was going on. And I did every lockout, which is what you call the end of your show, and brought to you by. And it was the year of the Power of All of Us campaign, so I would say, and WS Radio was the platform for the show at that point. I said, brought to you by WS Radio and the Power of All of Us. And I did the show every week for the whole year. And when it came time for eBay Live that year, I got to report from San Jose. And I had contacted all the different international sites and told them what time I was going to be doing it and what the link was going to be. And I got them all to say at the same time, say it along with me, the power of all of us. And I got all these people at the event to say it. So it was a little tiny going viral thing. It was really fun. So that was really a high. I loved doing that. But then from there, from there came, I was kind of the banner schlepper. I gave out pins and such at events, and I just hung around and met a lot of my friends at the booth. It was an easy place. Hey, I'll be at the eBay radio booth. Come on by. I want to meet you in person. So then came 2008, and it's the last eBay Live. They're not going to do it again. And word's gotten out, and we're on the air, and I call in, and I'm like, oh, Griffin Lee, I'm not going to see you this year. I'm so bummed. And Lee and I both have husbands named John. So Lee said, we had an ongoing thing about bringing our Johns here. Let's just take our Johns and go to Vegas and get a room and party. And I personally didn't want to go to Vegas. I'm not a Vegas type person, but I'm on the air. So I said, oh, that sounds fantastic. Let's do it. So all these people started calling in and saying, we want to come to the party. So we're like, okay, let's make it a conference. Okay, kids, like we've got a barn. Let's put on a show. So I asked my dream team of speakers to present. John Cold, who was the first year? Janelle Elms, Marcia Collier, Debbie Levitt. It was basically Lynn Drawley, basically, the creme de la creme of eBay speakers at the time. And we had a Griffin Lee sound-alike contest. We introduced the Griffettes, which is Griff's entourage. We surprised him with that. eBay sent a film crew, and they filmed a promo thing called I Am eBay, which was very fun. And we had this 3-day event at the Rio. And because we started at the Rio, the Griffettes threw beads when they came in. They came in front of Griff. The camera crew's in front of them, running backwards, filming it all. And Griff was like, who are these people surrounding me in these Griffette shirts and these fedoras and these light up sunglasses? They're throwing beads. Of course, Griff just goes with it. And meanwhile, Lee is in the radio booth, up on the dais. And where is Griff? He's late. Oh, here he finally comes. Look at him with an entourage. And this is broadcasting live throughout the world. And it was just a ton of fun. And after the first year, Lee asked me to start writing the show sheets. And I really, to this day, think that the Griffin Lee Sound-Alike contest was my audition for that. I was Griff and John was Lee. And at one point, Lee started pounding her head on the desk because she was laughing so hard. We did all stuff that actually happened on the show. It was priceless. It was so much fun. And anyway, so I became, I didn't really have a title. Basically, I wrote the show sheets, and I did basically whatever Lee needed me to do. And finally, I ended up being called the creative director. And it was the most fun job I've ever had.
Yeah.
I loved writing for the spoken word. I loved writing for Griffin Lee. I could get as off the chain as I wanted. Like I started doing themed intros and outros for the holidays. Like every time the phone rings, an eBay angel gets its wings. Call us now at 555-888-5 radio 30. Or I'd say, put down that tinsel and pick up the phone. When eBay's on my first good line was, when eBay's on your mind, this is a place to get it off your chest. And Lee's like, I don't know about that. It's the first time she let me write something by myself. And when Griff read it, he goes, block that metaphor. And he goes, oh, I told her that was too much. He goes, no, I love a good mixed metaphor. It's just kind of snowballed. And we had just a great little team. We were like embedded journalists. Technically, we were an independent production company. We ended up being Voice Marketing Inc. But eBay was our client, but we were also kind of semi-employees. And eBay was so great about teams to our events every year, which was wonderful. Our speakers spoke for free. That we were able to give them hotel rooms after the second year. Danna, you were one of our presenters. You were fantastic.
Thanks.
Doug, we would have loved to have had you on the air back in the day.
Yeah.
Had you been there, and we would have put you to work too.
Yeah.
It was just a great thing.
It
I loved
was.
being part of eBay Radio, and then Lee retired, and the show ended in June of 2018 at eBay Open, and we'll talk about that later when we talk about memorable live events. But she wanted to quit at the end of 2017, and I knew this at the beginning of 2017, and spent the entire year nurturing the little seed that would eventually sprout in her brain as her own idea that she needed a farewell tour, because we couldn't just leave our community midstream. We needed a farewell tour to give everyone a chance to say goodbye, because to this day we have reunions, we're close, a lot of friendships were forged in those days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that was the
and we
start
also
of
got a lot
eBay
of people
Open.
to sell better. Pardon me?
That was the start of eBay Open.
Well, we started the eBay Radio Party and Conference to kind of fill the vacuum left by eBay Live, because there was so much synergy when eBay sellers get together live. I remember it would be 4 days or like 15,000 people. And I mean, the first year I was so totally overwhelmed by the eBay that my husband said, you are never going to this event again by yourself. next year he went with me, and I didn't see him for 2 days. He was totally overwhelmed by the eBay.
Yeah.
But we needed to like carry the torch until eBay was ready to do live events again. And eventually in
That's it.
2016, they said, could we coordinate our two events, kind
There you
of do a mashup? And we did. And then we stepped back. But I had the privilege of producing the road shows, so I got to do the last 3 shows. And but we'll talk about that in a while, I guess. But yeah, it was a fantastic gig.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, and eBay Radio is very special to me. I was on a couple times. I haven't known eBetsy as long as Danna has, but eBetsy and I have a couple moments, a couple favorite moments. I gave her her first sip of Guinness at an eBay Open, which was amazing. She
It was
liked it.
delicious too. I loved it. It was very cheap.
There you go.
I had
But
a good on it.
I don't want to get too controversial, but I do want to dig a little deep and probably address the question everybody's asking. What is the controversial Twitter story that involves me?
Are you going to dig up my infamous days of Twitter jailbreak?
And Elon Musk is here waiting to comment, by the way. So
Oh, thank you so much. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. No human has actually reviewed this tweet. Well, you and I go back to when you got us back our listen live button. eBay Radio was on the community pages. We had our own page. We finally got the domain name ebayradio.com to get people there. And then the community platform migrated from I forget the first one, onto Lithium. And we lost our listen live button, and no one seemed able to give it back to us, and people couldn't find the show because we were on a radio platform, a broadcast platform. So you got us that back, and I sent you the email about you being a god among men, and you passed that around the community evidently pretty proudly, because Brian Burks said to me, "Why haven't you ever written to me like that?" How can I say? Just haven't measured up. But so you and I bantered back and forth on Twitter pretty freely through the years. We kept in touch via email occasionally, and you were on the show, and this and that. We had occasion to chat, but mostly on Twitter we'd banter. And you had moved on at this point. You'd helped launch the eBay for Business podcast and done a fabulous job with that. Such a good job, in fact, that someone stole you away from eBay, and you were doing your own. And I was like, I knew it. He wanted that microphone. And you said at Christmas, right before Christmas, you said you just finished doing a ho podcast. And I, being the quick wit that I am, quipped, "Oh, I've never really thought of you as a radio ho. I've always thought of you more as a radio slut." LOL. Smiley face. Well, I can't tweet anything because I'm in Twitter jail. And I was like, no, I want a human to review this, because what is this hate? This is not hate, or this is not any of the things violation. This is humorous. This is called sarcasm and banter. Well, a year later, having an eBay radio union that I really had to tweet about, and I was still in Twitter jail, so I just tweet like that wanted. But it was very funny. I was like, well, I can't even tweet you to tell you about this. And I didn't have your new email address. I'm like, boy, wait till I get a hold of him again.
And did you ever get out?
Yeah, I deleted the tweet and they let me out.
Oh.
I was like, oh, fine.
A year later.
Yeah, a year later. Well, I could have deleted the tweet right from the start, but I stood my ground. No, I want a human to review this. Don't bother. They're not going to show it to a human. The bots are just going to throw you out and leave you there in the cold.
Yeah.
And with Elon Musk in charge, who knows where you're going to end up. So yeah, I got out while the getting was good.
Well, I'll tweet you again when we're done with the show and see.
There you go.
How you behave this time.
We're Facebook friends.
That's true. That's true. We can do that.
You can watch my agility videos.
Well, speaking of which, since I am friends with you on Facebook, I have seen a lot of photos of your darling dogs. So give us an update on how your dogs are doing and share a bit of that hobby with us.
Oh my God, dog agility. First of all, dog agility is when you run the obstacle course, we signal to the dog which obstacles to take: jumps, tunnel, what they call the A-frame that you go up and over, the dog walk where you go up, across, and over, the teeter, which is just sort of the seesaw. Your dog has to complete the obstacles in the correct order within a certain time, and the fastest dog, clean round, wins. And I was just going to take a few lessons. The whole point of the sport, let me add, is to have fun with your dog and to be sure your dog has fun. These are all basically natural behaviors that your dog would do anyway, and love it. And you're basically playing with your dog. So what is not to love? Well, I rescued this little girl named Coco. I was a little shy girl. And I thought, well, I'll just take a few agility lessons to give her confidence. I think she like to run fast and jump over things once she started coming out of her shell. I thought, I bet she'd like to try agility. And I'd like to try it too, but I don't need to compete or anything. I did that with horses all my life. And why would I want that kind of pressure again in my life? So we
Yeah.
took a few lessons. We're in the advanced beginner class, and the master's trainer, who's now my trainer, says to me, we're having a trial next month. You should enter. What can I do? We don't know how to do the weave poles yet. Well, you could do this, this, and this. Oh, so the next thing you know, 4.5 years later, I'm running 4 dogs, which I love to compete. Coco and I have been to 2 AKC Nationals, American Kennel Club National events. We've been to 3 Sino-Sport World Game events. We've qualified for a 4th one. My second dog, who was literally following in Coco's paw prints, he was following her around the yard over agility obstacles by himself. So I thought, let's try him. He just won the regional championship for the second time.
Wow.
Yes, in steeplechase this time, and that got him a bye to the semifinals for the 3rd time at his 3rd Sino-Sport World Games.
Oh
And I've
my
got 2
God.
baby dogs running, one of whom is very, very shy. And this agility has totally transformed him into this confident, happy-go-lucky little guy. And
Oh,
it is so fabulous to watch him blossom. He's earned his first title already. And then there's Fast Eddie. We call them collectively, they're known as #agility4. Fast Eddie is my performance puppy. He was adopted specifically with doing agility in mind because a fellow handler put the bug in my ear. Betsy, you can think about getting a dog who wants to do this from the get-go. Like, oh, she thinks I can handle a faster dog. Well, that's a compliment. Well, but I like little dogs. Could be a little dog. I like my rescues. Could be a rescue. So Fast Eddie was on the euthanasia list at a local shelter when he was 7 months old for growling at a guy on intake. And a rescue group pulled him, and they put a local rescue group who I happen to know from Facebook, and they posted him on Facebook, and they said, "This meet Eddie Money. We think he will make a great agility dog." Sign from the universe, pretty clear. So I said, I'd like to meet Eddie.
oh,
And Eddie is a total rock star. He's earned 4 titles in less than 6 months, and he
wow.
is a pistol. And he's got a fan club, and he's a blast to run with, and he's a whole different kettle of dog than my shy little people that I'm shy and more steady kind of. Galump. Teddy is not the fastest dog, but he's very consistent. Coco's pretty fast. Riley is learning to be fast, but Fast Eddie doesn't have any other gear but go.
Wow.
And we're having a blast. We just got back from a trial where 2 of the dogs earned titles, and we had a great time with our friends. And John loves it because he gets to work and like help out with things. He was the timer this past weekend. He pushed the go button, and he videos people, and we
Smart.
just had a great time. It's a wonderful community, and it's very relaxing. And it's the only thing that I can do that I think it's the only thing I do for fun that's not online. So it's fresh air. I get no endorphins at the gym where I go 3 days a week for the purpose of getting fitter to be faster for my dogs. But running on our 2 acre grassy field or in an agility trial, endorphins all over the place.
Love it.
Yes. And again, every now and again, I forget to silence my phone. I'll be mid run and I'll hear cha-ching. Hey, I just sold something on eBay.
Speaking of selling on eBay, great segue. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have been selling on eBay for quite a long time.
Yes, and I bought a pink Segway on eBay too, but that's a whole nother story. I've been selling on eBay. I couldn't resist the pun. You set me up so beautifully.
Yes.
I've been selling on eBay since 2004. I sold my first item as part of Camp eBay, which
Okay.
you can earn merit badges for different things like opening a PayPal account, buying an item, selling an item, leaving feedback, getting feedback, blah, blah, blah. Turned out I was the first person to earn all of the badges, for which they gave me a T-shirt.
Wow.
I learned this when I got to eBay Live 2004. I took a 6:30 flight to get there. I left for the airport about 4. I think I listed the first item. I think I listed it as about 3:45, and then I packed and ran for the airport. 3:45 a.m. And it was a gimme cap because I'd been to eBay University with Griff, and he said list something that's inexpensive, you're not emotionally attached, and it's easy to ship. Gimme cap I found by the side of the road had a very artistic tire track across it.
Okay.
And it said, I'm smiling like this because I don't know what I'm doing. Perfect. So I listed it, opening bid of 99 cents, and it ended up selling to a guy in Australia. And I called out the truck tire print because I said it has a very artistic tire print across it from an authentic American 18-wheeler, Mack truck, Mack or Peterbilt truck, I'm not sure which. The rest of the hat has been cleaned per eBay standards. And this guy from Australia was like, Oh my God, I've got to have it. He bid 99 cents and won the thing, paid, I think, 50, 10 or so dollars at that time to send it to Australia. Was very careful to ask me not to do anything to the tire track. He really liked the tire track part of it.
Okay.
Left me positive feedback. It was like, hey, it was a win-win. So yeah, pretty cool. And after that, we were off and running. And my husband is HIV positive and has been since 1987. And this was 2004. And thank God he was still around. But I didn't want to be gone at horse shows every weekend and
Yeah.
constantly at the barn. I wanted to hit something we could do together from home because I didn't know how long we'd have. And as it turned out, we had plenty of time, and I will have a lot more. But this is something we've been doing together, and we love it.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
what's your most memorable sale if you had to pick one?
Well, of course, the one that I met Danna through, which is I sold a rubber wig that I got signed by all these eBay bigwigs, and I forgot to put the noun in the title, and she thought it'd been signed by the B-52s, who was a musical guest at that year's eBay live. But luckily, she was equally thrilled with signatures of Griff, Meg Whitman, Bill Cobb, whoever else was in power at that time, various team leaders I'd met, and I wore this during the concert, and I had a picture of me wearing it in the listing, and I think it sold for $9.99 or something like that, and eventually it fell apart.
Yeah, it was. I treasured it, and it was on display in my office for years, and it eventually disintegrated.
It just crumbled, I think, yeah, as some of us do with age. But we got to meet through this, and I was like, "Oh my God, this I
That's
think
right.
is so cool. How did I get so lucky?" And
Huh.
then you ended up in the Hall of Fame, and I was just so gobsmacked, like, "Oh my God, she bought my item. I'm so lucky to have
Uh,
gotten to know you, before you became power selling mom and a Hall of Famer, and you were willing to speak to a green seller, and you very gently at some point told me, 'Did you know you left out the noun?' I was like, 'Oh.'" A lot of people do that in their listing titles. You'd be surprised.
yeah,
Learned later we became eBay education specialists together.
that's
You went
right.
on to become a business consultant. I remained a regular run of the mill education specialist, but it was a lot of fun, and we taught a lot of new sellers.
Yes,
That has
absolutely.
been my most memorable sale until recently when I sold a double cemetery plot. And I raked in the big buck, $7,500.
Can you say
Wow.
that again? You cut
I
off.
sold a double cemetery plot.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it was. I listed it for a friend of mine who inherited it from her mother. She couldn't afford to bury her in the plot. She had her cremated, and it was basically the most valuable asset that her mother left her. And we listed it, and it was up for about a year, I think. But we
Yeah,
put some nice pictures of it, and I took and drew on the pictures, how the grave site was, in the because like here's the blank grass, and here's how the grave site's laid out, and we took pictures of the entrance of it, and we described it very eloquently as the prestigious holy garden. Holy garden section of the cemetery, the last available plot, and it ended up being bought by a man who wanted to bury his mother and his brother, who had died very close together in time, and he wanted to bury them there. And he contacted me beforehand to ask me some questions, and it was really meaningful to him that he was able to get this particular plot.
wow.
We were very touched that it was the mother and brother were going to be buried there together, and it ended up just being a really really special transaction on many levels.
Wow.
Where was it located?
It's in Dallas, Texas,
Yeah,
at Westland.
yeah,
West,
I tried to sell a cemetery plot for someone in Florida, but nobody wanted it. I gave up after a couple of years.
Let me ask you this: since you told me about titles, did you include the word cemetery spelled correctly and incorrectly in your title?
Maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
some people spell it ERY, some people spell it
yeah,
ARY, and only one of those
see
is
that.
correct. But you can find a lot of them
Yeah.
both ways.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I had both of them
Good
in the
job.
title.
Good
And
job.
the thing was,
Wow.
this friend of mine was getting out of an abusive living situation, and she was living in my new tenant house, which I just recently purchased, at a less than market rent. While I kind of got it fixed up and this and that, and this gave her 3 months' salary in the bank, and by then she had saved
Oh,
up
nice.
first and last month's rent, and it was her launching board to a new life and a place of her own.
Ah,
So yeah, her mother did her well.
that's
And
awesome.
people were just dying to get in, right?
People were dying to buy that thing, and I still have her mother's ashes here. She hasn't been over to pick them up yet. We have a sign propped against them that I got at Bucky's. It says "Cremation, my last chance for a smoking hot body."
Oh my God.
But
Well,
instead, it was a killer listing. Yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah. And it was. I had best offer on there, and
yeah.
we got an offer. He made me an offer, and it was like Done.
Take the money and run. Good
And
job.
not a deadbeat buyer either.
Well, and how do you ship a cemetery plot?
Oh, that's the best thing. You don't have to ship it at all. It's already right there in the ground. It's like already there.
So
Free
weird.
shipping, right?
Doesn't weigh a thing. Doesn't weigh a thing.
Local pickup.
Yeah, exactly. Local delivery, actually. And
Oh,
do you make a profit on it? No, you end up in the hole.
that's
No
Gotta
reason.
know, check back for the Late Show. We work blue.
there you go. There you go. So
Thank
I too am addicted to eBayana. In fact, I've received a few special items from you over the year. So what fun items have you added to your collection lately?
Oh my God. Well, let me take them in kind of order of importance. I have one item that I got from Meg Whitman. She had a thing. It was an eBay Giving Works promotion. It was site wide.
Yes.
And she had user ID Meg for Give Fest, which is what it was called. Every employee was selling on eBay, and so was Meg. And I have two items from that. One of them is called. I actually got three items. I got a really really bad portrait of Meg that was done with loving hands at home, and it was not flattering at all. But she treasured it, and the lesson sold it. I bought it. Then I also bought Meg Whitman auctions of fish. It was basically photoshopped together by a very enterprising seller. It was Meg Whitman's head on this 50s housewife's body, and she's presenting this fish. So that was called Meg Whitman auctions of fish. But the item that I would grab first, the item of eBayana that I would grab first in case of a fire is the NASDAQ dinosaur. It was given to her by NASDAQ on the occasion of eBay's IPO. I paid $1,600 for it. I outbid Griff, and I'm not ashamed to say that I paid $1,600 for it. It's a squishy stress relief dinosaur in a netting bag, and it has the NASDAQ tag on it and says, welcome eBay, which I just thought that was pretty cool to own that. Pierre Midyar has the other one.
Wow.
So, but my personal favorite item, because of my international eBay experience, being on all those eBay sites, international eBay sites, I love the international eBayana, and they have the coolest swag. Like for eBay India, I have a cricket bat and ball, and I have a dim sum bamboo steamer set from eBay Hong Kong, and a big straw tote bag from eBay Philippines, and then I have this wonderful metal globe. And you remember all the eBay icons from the early days, Danna? They had those really cute style of art, and they had like all the little international icons, all the international icons as magnets, and they're all over the globe.
Wow.
And you can play with them and reposition them. That is my most treasured thing. So that globe is I think my favorite piece. It sits on my desk, and then behind me, I have an antique corner cabinet. I keep all my glass, tombstones and such in there, and some of my other eBayana. But I have to say, I am currently awaiting several boxes from Griff, who is getting ready to move and is cleaning out his garage.
No.
And I hadn't thought of that.
The excitement and the anticipation are palpable.
Oh my God. I just bought the casino chip set from him.
Yes. Yes, it's fantastic. I have the martini set, and I got the casino set for Lee because she plays poker till her eyes fall out whenever she goes to Vegas, and when she's in San Diego too. And there's some other really cool stuff that I will be sharing it, so you'll probably get something.
Okay. Well, I know, and eBetsy sent me the Hong Kong lamp.
Yes, and that's eBay Taiwan. It's like a little bear.
Yeah.
A bear logo in the body.
Yeah,
like
I still have that. Yeah.
And I sent you my eBay colored wallpaper border and curtains for eBay office.
And I got the plates that go on to turn the lights on, the light switch, the outlet plates. Pardon me.
And you have one of the woven tapestries made in Jordan.
Thank
this guy, Shawait, he sold the coolest stuff. I have this embroidered tablecloth. I have these needlepoint vests, embroidered vests. I have tapestries. He did an eBay radio tapestry that was like 3x6, which we presented to Griff at the Kansas Jubilee, which was Joyce Bambury's event back in the day. And my God, this guy had the most cool eBay stuff, sand paintings, and I mean, and I was usually the only bidder, and I was like, he made me eBetsy hangings, and
this is a good
homages to eBay. People did such cool things with the eBay logos.
I know, and this is a great time for people to go check out the eBayana category.
Yeah.
And I was just on there recently.
Collectibles/advertising/eBayana.
That's correct. Thank you. Thank you. And I actually was just on there last week because every once in a while I pop in, and I bought a 2005 um, s- um, s- stamp from eBay that was a limited edition or whatever, and so
Yes.
it
Yeah.
should be delivered today. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I do pop in there and pick up stuff here and there.
Yeah,
So
they had the first issues during eBay Boston. There were stamps that were put out, and Hong Kong actually put out a whole set of stamps, which I've got sitting here in an envelope addressed to Larry Phillips, who sells stamps. I just have to
yes,
get his
yes,
address. I've been like sending certain items to people who just need them, like
yes, of
the
course,
eBay Motors leather jacket to Joe DeMarco, for example, Hubcap
yeah,
Joe.
yeah.
He's
Nice.
better to own that. And Doug, I think you need to tell me your jacket size. I think you need an eBay leather jacket also.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah,
I
I'm
always
XL.
wanted
What's
the
that?
I always wanted the one that looked like the high school jacket.
The varsity jacket. Yes.
Get
I
outbid
have,
on that.
I have
Ah,
one.
Go away.
I have. I'll.
Go away.
what
Yeah,
number is it? There's only 100 of them.
yeah, I was at that event. They gave them out. I have one. And then the other thing I have is so my very first seller event, Kansas City.
Jubilee.
No, it was reseller family. It was a
Oh,
pure seller event, and that was the first event eBay had sent anybody for a while. So Alan and I were sent out with a this is the story I tell with a tablecloth and a box of T-shirts, and
cool.
then
All
that
you
is
need.
where I was given my nickname Snoop Doggy by sellers, and so
All right.
I do have an eBay shirt with Snoop Doggy spray painted on the back. So those are my
You
two
see the
favorite.
Oh,
hashtag. Use
love
hashtag
it.
Snoop Doggy.
That's right.
Perfect.
There you go.
Love it. Love it.
But
Snoop
the
Doggy Day.
letter jacket is cool.
Oh yeah. Did you get? But
So
did you get the
cool.
original one? That's black with the what color is yours?
It's blue.
Okay, dark blue. Yes, that's
Yeah.
and it should have the number embroidered inside on the pocket.
Um, I think this was just a one-off for an event, the team, but
Okay, so there
there
was
was about 100.
originally 100. There were 100 made originally for and they were given out to employees early on. So you may have had one of that edition, or you know, I'm not sure. I'd have to see it, but Danna, we may have an extra. And if we do, it's yours. So I will check. I will check my eBay closet. I know John has one that's not the original one. It was one that was sold at the eBay shop, but it runs in my mind that I bought an extra one that was sitting there for like it was like $49.99 or something. I was like, oh, this cannot. It's. I let it go around 3 times, and I said, okay, that's it. I'm buying it.
Wow, I missed that one.
Yeah. So I'll take a look at the eBay
I'll
closet
pay for
I can
it.
find. No, you will not. I will send it to you as a friendship gift. Please.
Oh,
We sellers have to stick together. We old school people.
That's
Besides, you're in the Hall of Fame. And
thank
you also got that really cool award from eBay for charity because you have done a lot of good through them over the years
oh,
too.
thank
true.
you.
It's true.
Yeah, yeah, I love eBay for charity. Some of our items are listed through eBay for charity also.
Yeah, great program. Great
We
program.
sell, by the way, a mixture of we have a mixture of commodity items, multi-quantity, multi-variation listings, and that's our Teddy the Dog line. The tagline is Teddy the Dog for the pun of it, sense of humor required. T-shirts and other merchandise featuring a wonderful cartoon dog named Teddy. And since my dog is also named Teddy, it's a nice marketing tie-in. And then we also sell Converse sneakers, Chuck Taylors, mostly the made in USA older models. So and those will start bidding wars. And I have like some really really awesomely cool ones like samples. I bought out a couple of eBay Converse rather outlet stores when they went out of business and went overseas to Nike, and we sell that along with eBayana and vintage jigsaw puzzles and select consignment items.
Interesting.
Right now, I'm selling vintage GI Joes, die-cast model cars on the 1 to 18 scale, and some small electric appliances, which go for more than you might imagine. If you get a chance to sell any Dysonic plastic bags, those seal whatever they're called, flex and seal bags, those are really hot. The
Wow.
appliance not so much, but the bags, oh boy, yeah,
Crazy.
A
it
tip
is.
from eBetsy herself.
Yeah, but no, seriously, sell something that you can be passionate about.
Yeah.
Or at least get passionate about for the time that you're listing it. Because if you don't love it, it will come through in your listings. You got to sell something that you're passionate about because it will come through. Your enthusiasm for what you're selling will come through in your listing tone.
That's
So,
true.
yeah,
Good.
and it's the same way with the way you talk to your buyers. Talk to them in positive. Don't say,
That's right.
we will not sell to anyone with less than 10 feedback.
Yeah.
Why not? We all had less than 10 feedbacks at some
It's
point.
ridiculous.
Yeah, don't say we won't do this, we won't do that. And don't even think about leaving negative feedback without contacting us first. Hey, we hope you love your item. If you have any questions, let us know.
What is
Oh,
wrong with people?
eBay, I don't think enough people remember the community values, and I would love to see you both remind people of this through
Okay.
your various channels. You know, the list perfectly people and all. People need to understand. Sellers on eBay need to remember the roots. The first the first principle of eBay is that people are basically good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
people,
favorite.
Pierre's original community values. People are
Yep.
basically good. Everybody brings something unique to the table. Treat other people as you would wish to be treated yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. And when you approach it with that kind of an attitude and mindset, your whole eBay experience will just blossom with positivity.
There you go.
Yeah. No, that was the founding principles of eBay.
That's right.
Yeah, they used to have their own page on the website, and I would like to see that happen again.
I would too, actually. I was consulting with a coin collector, a coin dealer, very big time coin dealer in Sarasota.
Right?
And he hired me to help him get his eBay store. And I said, people are basically good. And because he was trying to go on about people that buy coins are shady, and he was saying all these things. And I said,
Why are
no,
you selling them?
if you're going to be on eBay, people are basically good. And because he was concerned about, having bad experiences. And I said that, and he's the only person that ever came back to me and said, Danna, people are not basically good. And I was like,
Really?
I have to leave. I
Yeah,
get
I've got to go like down. I'm gonna This is gonna be the vapor. No, it's all in how you approach it.
that's it.
Treat your people, if you act suspicious of everybody and you expect the worst of them, like these sellers that block people just because they don't like the way they ask a question, or they
Right.
ask a
That's,
question,
yeah.
the answer to it was in the listing. Oh well, some listings are pretty badly formatted. Maybe they couldn't see. Maybe they're on their phone and they didn't see the little teeny thing that says "click here." Because some of us have older eyes or need glasses that we
Yeah.
aren't wearing when we look at our phones.
Yeah.
I mean, good lord, just answer the question.
Telling you. Or they have
Yeah.
their kitty litter box showing in the photo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell. Can I tell a funny story about eBay Radio real quick?
Of course.
We used to do a thing called Dish Your Listing, Dish My Listing. You would call in with an item number, and we would read it off on the air, and everyone would go to the listing in their home, and we'd put it on the community chat board, and the super secret chat board. We'd post it there. Everyone would open up the listing, and Griffin Lee would critique it live on the air, and we would give you a score. They would give
Yes.
you a score of 1 to 5 tureens, because tureen being an inherently funny word for dish, and if you got 5 tureens, perfect score, you actually got an eBay Radio dish towel. And trying to find something that would print well on it. The dish towel that you could print on was a whole other story. Very funny story in itself. But Griffin Lee would sign the dish towel, and it said, "I had my listing dished on," and then the eBay Radio logo. Perfect score equals, and I had 5 clip art tureens across the bottom of it. Griffin Lee would sign this with a Sharpie, send it to the lucky. The lucky eBay Radio community member who had earned the 5 tureens, and people loved these dishcloths. They wanted them bad. They would call back in during the show. Hey, I did all the things you suggested. Can you rescore my listing? But we had this one woman. She was selling surplus military gear. She's selling specifically a flight suit, and it had a very large, very hairy cat sprawled across it. Well, we looked at our other listings. They all had cats in them. There were cats peeking out of backpacks, cats curled up on this, cats behind this and that. I mean, you could barely see the item. And people on the chat board are going, "That's like, oh my god, the dander, the allergies."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
literally is being ever so tactfully trying to explain to her why maybe the photographs shouldn't have the cats in them. And maybe this is not a great idea. Yes, it's a signature look for sure, but maybe not a great one. At least Lee, who is not always known for her tact, said very sweetly, "What was your thought with the cats?" And the woman said, "Oh, I just love my cats and they mean so much to me. And I want everyone to be able to see them." And Griff finally just laid it on the line. "It's just not professional." This woman said, "Oh, it's not," in this tone of utter shock. Well, my husband John downloads this episode, this segment to his laptop so we can listen back. And yes, we
Oh,
laughed about it all over again. Bev England, the infamous Grandma Bev, she listed in the adult category, Doug, which is a
I
whole other
remember
story.
her.
Remember Bev? She's wonderful. Salt of the earth. And yes, she sold Playboy videos for a client. Her best eBay outfit at the first eBay radio party was hilarious. She was like in a bathrobe and curlers, cigarette sticking out of her mouth. I remember her user ID. Now let me go back and look. Yep, those cats are still in the photos.
No.
Yes, and she was actually selling some items, but we don't it's and they have a way of speaking at Apple where they say things very tactfully, like they don't say that's dumb. They say that's not recommended. We don't recommend putting your cats on top of your items. Okay, just
It's not recommended. Yeah.
not a recommended best eBay practice. No.
Well,
Not
I
if you wish to achieve and maintain top-rated seller status on eBay.
There you go.
Yeah.
wonder what she's selling now.
More surplus military uh, uh, items with, but not for cats.
Yeah.
The cats are emphatically not for sale.
With
Yeah,
cats.
because the categories have changed.
Then she's
Cat not
in a category of her own, Danna. nice setup. Good job. I like that.
Cat not included.
Yeah, but she's in a category all by herself. And she's got quite a catalog too. And now the cat's got my tongue. I can't think of any more puns. Good
Oh
one.
my God, my mouth hurts from smiling so much.
Well, so
Like
eBay,
pink Cadillac.
thank you for those extra bits of eBetsy wisdom. We appreciate it. So we can say
Wit and wisdom. I
That's
get one at times, but hey,
wisdom.
we work with what we have. I had my wisdom teeth removed a long time ago, so I don't know how much I've got. I'm not a font of all that much.
So we want to flip it now. So we've been talking about the stuff you've sold and your experience on eBay. So let's talk about something you bought, something that was very special. I've heard this story about a special photo that you purchased on eBay in 2015. So can you
yes,
share that story with us?
my father was a notorious regifter. And I'm looking for something for him on eBay, and I'm just being silly. I'm on the phone or something. I type David F. Bolger into the search box. Boom! Up comes some results, and one of them is a photograph of my father.
Oh,
The seller had bought a bunch of newspapers archives and was selling all the photos. And there he was. And it said David. I'll never forget the title. It said David F. Bolger takes his seat photo, and I think there was one other word in there that they gave me some idea of what it was. But and I looked at it, I was like, that is my father. It was during he was doing a very controversial deal. It was one of the most ongoing, stressful and controversial deals of his life. It involved this company called Cleveland Cliffs, and he was taking his seat at the big stockholders showdown, where they finally duked it out, and I don't remember exactly what was at stake, but it was the big showdown. And
okay.
this is him taking his seat. So and he's wearing this really bad 80s hair and this bad 80s glasses. And I'm like, oh my God. So I bought him this photo and I framed it nicely, matted it, and I sent it to him for Christmas that year. Well, through Twitter, the eBay radio, eBay, the people got wind of it in the eBay newsroom. I think I mentioned it to them on Twitter. Somebody tweeted about finding something that belonged to their dad. I said, well, I found my father himself. They had a column called Treasures Hunted. And it was about things that people had found on eBay that were meaningful. And so they wrote this story up, and I got my brother to run over to my dad's house. He took a really cute picture of my dad holding the photo on his lap. And so for his birthday that August, I printed out the article. Oh, and I had printed out the listing when I had the photo framed. So I had the listing framed with the photo. And then for his birthday, I had the article printed out and framed. So I got my father. I got my father. We have my father, and he could not regift this one item and the article being framed is a really cute effect because there he is in the article holding the picture on his lap. So it's like a gift within a gift within a gift, and it now I've inherited it, of course.
Yeah.
And it hangs down in my dad's former condo in Sarasota.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
in the hallway where the guest room is, so that the guests can see it, but I don't have to. I don't want my dad doing what we're doing with the condo because I think he'd be turning over in his grave. And we've sort of made it our own with some funky art and one another. It's we have use of it for my lifetime, which we're very fortunate to have, and we love it. It's right on the beach. You're going to come visit because now you live nearby, Danna, and Doug. You're invited too if you could get
Thank you.
Get to this coast, to the East Coast, and So, but that was a very very special thing to find on eBay. I did not expect David F. Bolger to actually bring up a viable search result.
That is so beautiful.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, so meaningful.
It really was. And I'm really glad to have inherited it because it was very special. And my dad in the last years of his life became rather frail and he had a paralyzed vocal cord. He couldn't really speak very, very clearly or very audibly, but I was able to hear him say, thank you for this. And he said, thank you, Princess, very special. And I think that was like the last audible words he ever said to me. So,
oh my God, that's so special. You'll
very
treasure
special.
that always.
That's a very special gift.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
you're keeping it, Dad. You can't give this one back to me.
No,
So
you can't resell it.
no, you cannot regift it. So he was notorious for that. It was a running joke in the family over the years. Who was going to get their own gift back that year? So,
Wow.
or the gift would circulate through the family. It was very funny. one of those,
For
family.
sharing that story with us. It's really special. So,
Yeah.
but
eBay's not the only platform out there, though, Doug. Do you want to ask me about whether I'm expanding to other platforms, perhaps? I might have something to
you
tell you
know,
about that.
have you sold elsewhere? Because I felt like I was cheating when I started selling on Poshmark.
Well, I kind of feel like I'm cheating a little bit too, but it's okay because I'm doing it via an official third party tool. I signed up last night for the business plan of List Perfectly.
Oh,
Into
Wow.
my most recent eBay Dallas eBabes and emails the original seller group founded by Stephanie Inge in Dallas here in Big D. The Dallas eBabes, EBAYBES and EMALES. That's our sellers group, and we hosted List Perfectly for our most recent
Right.
meeting. And I met Clara and Trish, the community leader, and they were awesome. And List Perfectly is a way cool tool. And so I'll be soon putting my Teddy the dog listings on eBay or on Poshmark as well as eBay.
how exciting.
Yes, I now have a part-time employee who is helping me with this. And
Oh, good.
yeah, so we're kind of expanding all the way around. And really, you don't need, there's no reason to have all your eggs in one e-basket, so to speak, anymore.
Who knew?
No, and it creates more synergy for eBay too, because
Yes.
I will be converting these people. They asked me for my website ID, and I don't know if this is legal, but I put texanasallstore.com, and
Yes.
it happens to redirect to my eBay store. So
That's
let's put my seller profile on Poshmark because
right.
Texana's All Store was too long to use for a user ID.
There you
So
go.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's what else I loved about Poshmark. You could rebrand yourself. Because on my Poshmark too, my first reaction was to put my eBay ID so they could see my feedback.
right, but
I
they
did
can't.
that too. On
What are you working on on Poshmark?
You're also smart.
What do you go by on Poshmark?
What do you think?
Ask Danna. Danna, Power Selling Mom.
Power selling mom.
There you go. Because that's your brand. But
Brand.
OWERSELLINGMO. Oh, you're just in at 15 characters. See,
That's it.
I couldn't do Texana's All Store. It was too many characters.
What are you, Doug?
I am DAS content or DAS content
Right, your
media.
brand.
Probably DAS
Content sounds German.
content. Well, there's an intention
Well,
there with the logo and stuff.
I'm on there as we're on eBay as Monjot as our user ID because John Mott
Yeah.
is a singulism because originally we were Monjot at swbell.net back when you signed up with your whole email address.
Yeah.
And I had only 9 minutes to do it because I wanted to win the first auction I ever bid on, which I did. And that's a story for another day. But so we are Monjot on eBay, but on Facebook we're eBetsy Monjot, which a lot of people think is my legal name, but it's not. It's our
Yeah.
two eBay IDs. So
Yeah.
I'm eBetsy underscore Monjot on Poshmark because I really didn't think John Mott was selling on Poshmark. I'm selling on Poshmark, so we went with eBetsy Monjot.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's perfect.
Yeah, but I wish I could put a store name on there. I wish we could name our closet.
Yeah.
But you just
Yeah.
have a user ID.
You have the logo up there in your banner. That's what I did. You have your big banner up there.
The problem is that I think I'm gonna have to go with the eBetsy banner you made me because maybe
can't
have
believe you
Monjot
still
too.
have
Yeah, I still have
Love
it. I love it. But because our logo on eBay is my about section starts off from our house to your house. John made a big eBay logo out of Christmas lights in a oval of white light,
Yeah.
and it's hanging from our porch, and it's like right in front of the porch. So you see it in the front of the house, and that's our logo. So it won't exactly work for Poshmark.
There.
Yeah, that is true. But we
Get over it.
But I have my banner that Danna made me, so I'm all set.
there you go. Okay. Well, we are happy that you expanded to Poshmark. We won't tell eBay.
It's
But-
okay. I'm going to break the news to them gently.
All right. That's the way to do it. I mean, what are you gonna?
eBay is my first love. I'm totally married to eBay, but I got to admit I'm playing around with some Poshmark on the side.
Yep. That's it.
I'm the same way, but I still.
Poshmark is a lot more casual. It's a lot more consumer to consumer. I think from what I've done so far, it's not business. It's not the home of small business the way that eBay is. So I feel like they're two very different platforms, two very different selling audiences.
Yeah.
And there's what 60 million, 80 million eyeballs now or sets of eyeballs on. Is it 80 or 60 million users on Poshmark? I think it's
I don't know.
80. It's 80 million.
As eBay.
Yeah, it's 80 million. 80 million Poshmark buyers, many of whom do not shop on eBay necessarily.
That
No.
is true.
And
But,
with all the sharing you do on Poshmark, you could drive sellers to your eBay store if you
Yeah.
like. And, the Poshmark has its own thing and its own vibe, and that's great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you really, if you're going to be a business, you need to diversify.
Right, right. And we've come a long way.
E-commerce has evolved, and we've got to evolve with it.
Exactly.
I draw the line at the river. I will not sell on the A place, the A word.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because I don't want to support a soulless corporate behemoth, and I dislike their seller policies, and I don't care for the vibe, and it's you can find. I mean, that's where you can find stuff any place that you can find there. eBay is where you find the stuff you don't even know exists.
No, I know.
Housemark is where you find that special something that you've been dying to find. You know.
Yeah.
They're a lot. They have a lot more uniquity going for them, shall we say?
Yeah, exactly.
They have a lot more heart and soul and funk. Well, I see a four-legged creature in your.
That's Kevin.
That's Kevin. Oh my God, my neighbor's dog is named Kevin. Yours is much cuter.
Yeah.
Does Kevin need to go out?
I think he wants to.
Yeah.
But no, I'll always love eBay. I do take the chance, and I see Brian all the time. I see eBay people all the time. I do, now and again remind them that they broke up with me, but I'll always love eBay.
Well, I like to think it was a mutual parting of the ways to free you up for your radio stardom.
Well, I think it worked out all right,
Because sometimes you don't take that leap until you're like kicked out of the nest.
It's true. Yeah, you gotta always be willing to, like you just said, always be willing to evolve.
Well, I seriously had trepidations about taking the job writing the show sheets. I was like, what if I? And I thought, Betsy, this is a dream job. Take it, for God's sake. The one thing you could do it, do it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, and like you on the radio, you're a natural on the air. You've got a great way about you.
Thank you.
And you've got a face for radio too.
That's what I was told. My mom told me that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Well, I can't let your head get too much bigger. It would look funny on the video.
There you go.
So,
all right.
I really like List Perfectly. I love the story behind it. I love how it was created by sellers for sellers. I like Clara. She was totally like of my tribe. We just hit it off instantly.
Yes.
I mean, it's real people dealing with other real people. There's a great positivity to it. I love the whole listing party in the USA thing where you give people, keep each other company while we're listing, and you've got Teresa Cox on there to help people learn to list better. It's very supportive. I love it. I think it's a terrific tool and a terrific community.
Oh, thank you.
So,
glad to have you aboard.
I was already a member of the group on Facebook. I didn't post much, but I lurked a lot. My friend Suzanne Felber is in that group, the lifestylist, who is a brilliant entrepreneur. You will love them. You'll love to meet her. I will introduce you.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So, it's just a really, really great tool and a great. The whole concept of it is just wonderful.
It is.
So I'm looking forward to learning how to use it, and so is my part-time employee who has totally gotten me organized. And I hired her originally. She was between jobs, and I was like, well, I have all this inventory in cardboard boxes. I need to get it into these plastic bins.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I have spreadsheets and an inventory management system. And I mean, she's just like taking ownership and gotten me organized and up and running like a real business.
Well, send her to a listing party with Teresa Cox 101.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah. And then Teresa's there to answer questions and assist. The listing parties are amazing. I can't wait till you pop in. There's so much
great. Then she can teach me what I need to know. Because I told her, look, we'll put this on commission. You get us up and running on Poshmark, and I'll split the profit with you 50-50.
Wow.
She is a really great executive assistant, but like myself, she is a woman of a certain age, and it's harder to get hired. Her executive retired, and the executive who took his place had his own assistant and brought her in with him. Wow. So she's been kind of working, having to look really hard to find a new place to work, and she's working part-time for the U.S. Dog Agility Association in their office, and she's working part-time for me, and she's now with my tenant. She's doing some work for me at the house on a barter system. And wow. But if anybody's looking for a VA, I highly recommend Deborah Dager.
It's very agile.
She's very agile at her job duties and switching from one thing to another, and she has a lot of initiative. She's a great self-starter, and she will absolutely get you up and running and organized.
That's awesome.
Yeah, plus she's a lot of fun to be around. So all the qualities you could possibly want in somebody to work with, right?
There you go. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us too.
Yes,
I will do that. Yes, I've already asked Danna last night. Oh my God, what should I do, business or pro? Because these things, do I need these things? So, and I'm very happy with the pro plan or the business plan so far. We'll see how much we can.
Okay, there you go.
We'll get it paying for itself, and then we can upgrade.
So you and I both know how unforgettable it is to attend seller events like eBay Open. Can you share a few encouraging words about why you think it's helpful for resellers to attend events?
Okay, you have to remember now, I'm old school. For me, it's everything is going to be compared to eBay Live. eBay Live, like they say about Grateful Dead concerts, there is nothing like an eBay Live. But every event since then has had that same synergy, that same energy. They've all it's all come from the original roots of the eBay Live when 10,000 eBay crazed, impassioned sellers would get together and ask each other, "So, what do you sell?"
Yeah.
Because when eBay sellers get together, this is why I wanted to sell on eBay in the first place. I mean, I listed that one item to get the Camp eBay badge, but oh my God, eBay sellers are the cool kids. They were so generous and so passionate about what they were doing, and they were so generous in sharing their knowledge and their systems and everything except for where they source their items. Of course, got to keep your secrets in your back pocket. But I mean, they were so helpful to each other, and so it was so electrifying to be around them. These people that were like working for themselves, and they were building businesses like, basically out of like selling stuff they had laying around the house. And
Yeah.
the next thing you know, you got a warehouse and 5 employees, and boom, there you are. And Meg Whitman was just fantastic, and I got to meet Pierre, and we went to developers conferences, and we had the eBay Radio Party and Conference, and then it became then eBay Open came, and it came about. And anyone who attend the virtual events have been well attended and they've been fun, make no mistake. But when people get face to face in real life and meet up in real life, there is just a whole new dimension added. And then you get back online and it becomes all that much more online.
So it's just been such a pleasure having you here today. I hope I get to spend more time with you in person. So let me know next time you're coming to Florida.
I will do that because we had a great time with your mom last time when we met
Yeah.
up while you were there. Now you're living we're practically neighbors because
I know.
Minnesota, you're just a little way south of there. But thank you very much for having me on and letting me ramble on about various things dear to my heart, and hopefully yours and our audiences, and
Absolutely.
my fellow sellers out there in the dark. So it's been a pleasure to see and to talk with you both.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you, eBetsy. Thanks for taking the time. Always great to talk to you, and get those pearls of wisdom and that amazing perspective that you have that I don't think anybody else really has.
No.
Anna may be close, but there's
No.
only one eBetsy,
That's
and
it.
then
Well, that's the third principle of eBay. We each bring something unique to the table.
there you go. I hope I see you at a seller event or an eBay event again soon. That's
Yeah,
always
it'll probably be a List Perfectly event, and I'll be perfectly delighted to see you.